Did I say Medpack? I meant Golden Skull, obviously. That's what I was picking up at the end of the last video. Alright guys, well here I am back again for part 2 of our little romp through the first level of Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. I know it's already been a few days since my last upload, and I apologize for that, but the holidays have been keeping me very busy, not with anything work-related, but just with hanging out and having a good time. I do have some exciting news, though, for everybody. I have finally picked the game that I'm going to start off the year with, and you should see the first one of those episodes very, very shortly. If not later today, when this episode goes up on the 4th, well, it's already kind of late, so it'll probably go up the 5th or the 6th, but it'll definitely be up before the 7th this weekend. I can promise you guys that. It's a title that I remember fondly from my past, and I've actually had a couple of my buddies over, and we did the first few sections or so together, so it'll be a nice little group playthrough for you all. All that aside, I'll just hop right back into kind of talking about what's going on here in this little beginning of the game. So now, at this point, we're roughly halfway, well, we're over halfway through the first level, as it were. And we're finally going to get a little bit of free roaming as we wrap up this level here. So after this cutscene, you'll see I think my initial difficulty. Oh, I actually got it there. Oh, no, yeah. So, remember, with the way I mapped my controls for this playthrough, I had to hold in the R3 button and then use the D-pad to try and get her to go forward, and it was difficult to get her to do it the first couple of times, but I did get it on my second try here, and naturally I immediately go get another secret skull, although they're not so secretly hidden in this first stage, and I know I've already missed a couple of them, but again, I wasn't doing this to actually do like a complete Let's Play. I was just kind of messing around in the first part. The control setup I had done here got so tedious that I actually ended up going and looking online to see what the actual PlayStation 1 controls were. And when I do go back to this game, I will map my gamepad to more perfectly match the PlayStation control. So here we are, a little wink and a nod to the beginning of Lara Croft here. There's a backpack on that skeleton, which of course gives us the origin of where Lara Croft gets her backpack for most of the original series. And coincidentally, that backpack becomes a pivotal, not pivotal, but an important image for this game's conclusion, and more importantly, for the conclusion of this game's pseudo-sequel, Tomb Raider Chronicles. So with the backpack, we take one step closer to getting some freedom in this game. I will say, this is not a very good level. And I get that it's a tutorial level and they're just trying to teach you all the basics, but it just wasn't fun. And having Von Croy just constantly telling you the most basic stuff that, as a relative veteran like myself, I just getting real tired of it real quick. But thankfully, it kind of wraps up after we're done with this mission here, which we are very close to at this point. So now, here I go, trying to get back in through and crawl back through the tunnel again. I had more success this time than I did last time. We're going out of the tunnel.
Let us hope it does not hold the same
and lo and behold, here we're getting pretty close to the end of the level here. I believe this is where Von Croy tells us how to sprint.
The eyes of the ancients are upon us, and their vengeance is
Although had I actually reviewed the footage before attempting this commentary, I would know that. But I'm positive that this is the actual sprint part. And it's funny, I'm commentating over the footage live, but I've got the actual audio muted so that it doesn't cause any interference with my audio recording right now. So it really is total guesswork. And so hopefully I'm right, because I really don't have any intentions of re-recording this, because I want to move on to more exciting content. Yeah. So here Von Croy
Dive through
tried to explain how to do like dive rolls, and I didn't figure it out until I had already been hit several times by those needles. And funny thing, as we'll see in the next video, I believe, I was worried for a second there that Von Croy wouldn't make it through the door in time, and you'll see. You'll see that he has difficulties getting through other doors too.
The Garden of the Five Towers. To the right, the path of the heretical. To the left is the route of the virtuous.
You know me, Werner. A regular virtuoso.
And more and more boring Von Croy monologues and descriptions on how to play the game that we're already playing. So what was funny here is he talked about there being two separate passages, and so naturally I assumed, well, maybe I get to pick which one, or maybe he goes down one and I get on the other, but nope. Still just a tutorial. Just going through the inventory, checking out things. I do really like that even though this is the PC port, and even though this game was actually on several different systems, as it were, I think it was on PC, and then I want to say it was on one of the Sega systems, but I'm not 100% sure. But despite that, the in-game object for save and load is still a PlayStation 1 memory card, so I got a kick out of that. So this part here is actually going to be introducing one of the new features of Last Revelation, which is rope swinging. And I realized at this point when I was actually playing and now doing the commentary is I don't think I've actually beaten this game before. And in fact, I don't know if I ever really got much further than the young Laura levels. Because I bought all these games in a gauntlet, and I blasted through Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, and Tomb Raider 3, and then I started this one, and I remember this intro level, but I think I got a little burnt out with Lara Croft after getting to the first 3 games in such a quick succession. And so when I go back to this, it'll probably be more like a blind video series, because I'm not gonna play through this whole game and then, replay it just for the sake of the video. I'm not a pro at this series, so I wouldn't be really worthy of giving like a guide walkthrough sort of setup for it. It'd be more just making videos for the fun of it as I'm talking through things. So there, too, I didn't realize my first time coming up this tunnel that it was actually tall enough for Laura to walk and run through. So I was thinking to myself that it was taking a long time, but by crawling all the way up there and then on a second attempt up there, I learned that, oh yeah, you don't have to crawl all the way up there, and I could have saved myself at least 10 seconds there. Alright, so here I go. I try to line up the jump here. I'm doing my best. And I knew at this moment, as I'm setting it up right here, I knew right before the sleep that I wasn't going to be able to do it. Yep, and I blew it. And there I go. But here at my channel, we try to keep it raw, so I didn't cut out any of my mistakes. I just kind of kept it rolling. So here we go, back up through this tunnel second time. Really exciting stuff here, I know, guys. Your minds must be blown. We make our way up, around the corner. Gonna do the save. Yep. I saved scummed a lot. And I did that save so that if I blew it, I wouldn't have to redo that whole run all the way up. Oh, and I still blew it! I forgot I did that! Well, that's what save scumming's for. Alright. Third time's a charm, I hope. Alrighty. Alright, yeah. So now I just kind of tinkered with it, tried to figure out how the actual swinging controls work, and by dashing you can actually swing Laura, and then by walking, you slow her down. Von Croy down there, just walking into the wall. Perpetually. Symptom of things to come. And right here at around the 10.5 minute mark, we're finally going to be pretty much wrapping up this level. In fact, I want to say we might be at the end of it. I see the dark abyss down at the tunnel there. If I can just get myself out of the water, which I'm clearly having difficulties with. Alrighty, and that about does it for this stage. But I save scum again, I guess just for kicks. And now begins a stage where a lot of weird stuff happens. And I think it was just an unfortunate glitch. So Von Croy sets up here a race to get to the object that you're hunting for in the tomb.
Watch your back, old man. I warn you.
And this is the second level, so this should be pretty easy to beat him, or maybe you don't have to beat him. You know, something to that effect. And so the race begins. And already, straight into the wall. Great work on my part. I was really doing a good job there. Oh, I was able to run myself over that one. I was blowing it left and right here, man. I think on a second attempt, I probably could have done this pretty flawlessly, but I just wanted to see if I could do this despite all my mistakes. He's a fast little boy, I'll tell you. Almost to the point where I can't actually remember if you can beat him or not. So here's where I really blow it. And this is where I'll be for the remainder of the video. I could not for the life of me figure out how to get out of this room. So I'm jumping up on the sides, jumping left and right. And the solution was you can actually grab the vine-looking textures on the walls behind Laura from where she's facing right now. But I didn't figure that out until like 5 minutes in. So for 3 to 4 minutes, I just perpetually just kind of spinning back and forth and just not having any luck. It's pretty pathetic. But I think that's enough of that, just watching me perpetually fail here. So I'll edit out some of my mistakes, and I'll see you guys again in part 3.